Hello, my name is Roland Richardson, and today we're going over some of my projects for boards. Let's get started. So, let's first discuss Program Objective 1. Follow a software development process to analyze a problem and to design, build, and test software solutions. So let's start with Paged Adventures. A plain document for Paged Adventures ready. In that document, I have a detailed description of what I thought the project was to entail and what it should do. The time was accounted for, how long I thought it was going to take, the cost that would be required, resources that would be required, the inventory that the application would be tracking, and for the project, what all did I feel like it needed to do. All the different things that was possible with it I listed here, so I can meet those requirements. For the development plan timetable, you can see where I listed a date and where I needed to be at that point, and that tracks all the way until completion. Alright, let's move on. Project 2 Biomines Group Project Planning. This right here is a document for that. You can see the burn down where we track our progress, and based on that we can see if we're making on time, if we're supposed to complete, or if we need to make adjustments so that we can get it done on time. We evaluate and discuss if we felt like we contributed to the project that week. If we're behind, we discuss why we were behind and what we can do to prevent that from happening next time. The work logs. Hours, we have to report our hours and show transparently how much we got done. We felt like that was enough. We have screenshots of our project, what we did, so that they can see this is what I was doing. We had weekly stand-ups where we discussed everything and made comments on each other's work and see what we could do to improve for our next task. Moving on. Let's go ahead and go to Program Objective 2. Demonstrates software development skills using more than one programming language and development environment. For Paged Adventures, used C# and Visual Studio. I no longer have access to the database because it was from a different college, but I eventually do plan on recreating that database on a different server, a private server that I own. That way anybody can test it and it won't be locked behind a college institution for whenever I move from that institution. For Project 2, Biomines Group Project. In that project, I used the Godot IDE and I used GDScript for the tasks that I implemented in that project. Then for Project 3, Book Database. That project was made using Python for the language and PyCharm for the IDE. Program Objective 3, Implement Data-Driven Solutions. So for my first project, I have Paged Adventures. This project works with a database, which unfortunately I no longer have, but I will be recreating it in the future on a private server that anybody can have access to so I can demonstrate it properly. Project 2, the Game Library. Same situation. This project works with a database. No longer have access to that database, but I will be recreating it on a private server so that anybody can test it out in the future. Program Objective 4, Design and Implement Software Solutions for Mobile Devices or Embedded Systems. For my first project, I did Stormy Nights, which is an Android application. This Android application is just the beginning of a side-scroller game. Eventually, I can continue on it if I decide that I want to make that a project worth expanding upon. So far I have like a parallax background going on. It's going on automatically. Eventually I have it want to be tied to the character, so as it's moving, it actually moves appropriately instead of continuously. It has a little thumbstick for movement that controls the character so that this can actually be used on Android with touch controls. For my next application, I have a vehicle information application. This application is a simple one that has pictures of different vehicles, but when you click on it, it brings up a screen similar to this, where it has the type of vehicle, a description about that vehicle, different technical facts about it, and a new picture of the vehicle itself. Just something simple I did. For Program Objective 5, document the planning and development of software applications using industry standard tools, techniques, and processes. So, we have the Paged Adventures, planning documentation, which I have here. The description of what it was meant to be, the time it was going to take, considerations, of course, considerations for cost, considerations for resources, the inventory that it would be tracking, anything that the project was supposed to do, all stated out clearly, development plan timetable, different times that were proposed and needed, that I can follow along and meet every deadline. And moving on. Next, let's go to Program Objective 6. Within Software Solutions, describe, implement, and analyze data structure techniques such as lists, trees, hash tables, graphs, along with sorting and searching algorithms. So my first one I did sort by structure. It sorts these different structures based on character level. This is for D&D, of course, and you can see that it sorted it appropriately. It is using QSort, and this is a console application. For my second project, I did a hash table example. For this, I made a console application that was menu driven. You could enter a different menu item and it would take you to the different corresponding part of that menu. One being deleting a value in the hash table, 2, display the hash table, and then 3, exit application if you did -1 for exiting an application. And that happened. Alright, that is everything. I thank you for your time.